This is one of my favorite wood finishes. This is Starbond. What's going on, guys? My name is Trevor, and I'm here today to show you guys how this can be used as a finish. Coming from the turning world, I see a ton of small turnings, such as pen turnings or tops or things like that, that have an amazing finish on them, and you might have as well. If you have, I'm here to tell you it's Starbond. It's nothing but CA glue that has been applied, finished, and polished very nicely. Now, I'm not much of a pen turner. Truth be told, I've never even turned a pen. But that's not gonna stop me from putting some of this on the lathe, on some wood. Anyways, in this video, I wanna show you guys how you can take an ordinary piece of wood and get a high gloss finish that looks just like this. Well, this was a test piece. I actually did turn some other pieces and I used CA glue to finish them. And I wanna show you guys just how I did that. So let's get going. For this project, I'm going to be using Starbond Thin and Starbond Medium Clear. And these are the two types of glues I would always recommend, and I will show you why once we start applying this finish. For these projects, I am just going to be using walnut and a chaos style pattern blank. And this style finish can be applied to anything. It doesn't have to be wood. You can be turning acrylic or epoxy, and it will still all come out relatively the same. And like I said before, I'm not a pen turner, so I actually don't have any of the tools that I would need to turn a pen. So I've decided to turn this little vase and also my very first top. A vase of this size definitely doesn't need a CA finish, but I think that the top will look really cool and really professionally done with a high gloss CA finish. And now we can talk about something that I think is very important when it comes to CA finishes, and that is the sanding process. When you are sanding your pieces to get ready for a CA finish, you need to make sure that you are doing a quality sanding job. The best you've ever done. Which means no skipping steps. Sand all the way up through every grit you have. I started at 80 grit and I went all the way up to 220, and then I went from 220 all the way up to 2000. When you're in the higher grits, you can choose whether or not you want to do it wet sanding or dry sanding. I don't see much of a difference in the finish quality. That's just up to you. And if you did a good job and didn't skip any steps, you should be ready to clean off your project. You want to make sure that your project is as dust-free as you can possibly make it. Having dust on your project when you apply your finish is going to make it have a cloudy base, and you don't want to start with a cloudy base. Once you've got your project thoroughly cleaned, you can now get ready to apply your CA finish. I'm starting with Starbond Thin Clear, and my lathe is turned down to the slowest possible speed it can go. The last thing you want is CA glue flying all over you and all over your shop. So make sure when you start this process to put on some good gloves and wear eye protection. Starting with Starbond CA Thin, you want to apply a base coat liberally to your piece. You don't need a lot of pressure, you're just trying to lay the CA glue on top. Once you've applied your CA glue, come back and hit it with the Starbond accelerator, and I usually let that sit for about 2 to 5 minutes to make sure that it is fully cured. Once you're sure that the finish is fully cured, you can then come back with your higher grit sandpaper. I'm using 2000 here, and I am just scuffing the top. Again, I'm not adding a ton of pressure. All I'm doing is scuffing it so that way when I apply my next layer of CA glue, it has something strong to hold on to. Now, if you have sanded and you see something like this, that means that your layer of CA glue is uneven. Simple way to fix that is to just keep sanding it down until you don't see any more glossy spots. Everything should be dull and matte. Again, I'm just using light pressure. It might take you a good while to get it down to where you know that it's level, but take the time and make sure you get your piece level. That is just always going to provide you with a better finish. And don't forget, clean in between each sanding. And once I've gotten my base layer down to a nice, clean, flat finish, I am then ready to apply another layer of CA glue. I am actually going to switch out my thin CA glue and switch to my medium CA glue, allowing me to put on more coats quicker. Once you're satisfied with your general finish, you can then move on to polishing the glue. When adding your polish compound, you just want to make sure that you are layering it on thick enough that it can absorb into any of those micro scratches that have formed from sanding. Make sure that you read the directions on how to best apply the compound that you get and how long that you should wait for it to dry. Mine said wait 10 to 15 minutes, and so that is what I did. Once you've waited the allotted amount of time for your compound to dry, you can then begin to polish it. I am using a polishing disc that I got with my Dremel set, but really any polishing disc will do.
When it comes to polishing, all that you're doing is wiping off that compound and pushing it into all of those micro scratches that were formed before. Speed and pressure are definitely a help when it comes to finishing this up, so turn your lathe up and apply some pressure. Getting a good CA finish is definitely not something that is easy, but it is definitely something that is rewarding. It is an art form in its own kind, and it just takes some practice.
Man, that was a lot of fun. I mean, I'm so proud of this little top I made. And this little vase is pretty cool too. I'm most proud of the finish that I got with them. I haven't done a lot of finishing with CA glue like I mentioned before, so this was a really good practice for me to hone in those skills and to be able to know that I can teach other people how to do it. CA finishing is definitely more of an art form than it is a skill set. It takes a lot of practice, a lot of learning, and a lot of patience. But as long as you have those three things, I think you're going to come out with an amazing product. I'm really glad I was able to use Starbond and their incredible finishes to get these incredible finishes. Starbond comes in all different sorts of thicknesses and colors, and I think that if you took some time and played around with it, you can have a lot of fun with all of their thicknesses and all of their colors. As a wood turner and woodworker in general, Starbond is always in my shop. Also, make sure that you're following Starbond. They love to see all of the applications that their glue is being used for. If you guys have any other tips and tricks or just fun things that you do with Starbond, make sure you tag them and tag me, because we would love to see what you guys are up to. I had a lot of fun turning these two little pieces. I hope that you guys also had fun watching and learning with me. Leave a comment down below letting us know something new that you've learned or something that I might have missed. And also head over to starbond.com and see all of the products that they have to offer. And that's it for me, guys. Be good, be safe, be happy, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.